Notice how headlines shift when a woman is in charge. The language changes, the focus narrows, and suddenly, the story isn't just about business, it's about her. If a male-led company stumbles, it's about the market or competition. The headlines read, "Industry faces downturn," or "Company struggles amid economic shifts." The CEO's gender is never mentioned. But with a woman at the helm, suddenly, it's about her. The narrative pivots. Can she handle the pressure? Or is she the right fit? Her leadership is questioned, her decisions dissected, and her gender is spotlighted as if it's the root of the problem. Even her tone in meetings or her wardrobe choices become newsworthy. Headlines like, "Female CEO under fire," immediately link her gender to the company's struggles. This isn't just a local phenomenon, it's global. You never see, "Male CEO fails to meet targets." His gender is invisible. Hers is the story. The male CEO is allowed to be an individual, while the female CEO becomes a symbol. This isn't a rare slip, it's a pattern. Over decades, the same themes repeat: doubt, scrutiny, and blame, all tied to gender. The headline primes us to look for her personal failings, not the business context. Was she too aggressive? Too soft? These double binds are rarely applied to men. These questions, rooted in stereotypes, overshadow real business factors. The focus shifts from strategy to personality, from performance to perceived flaws. The narrative becomes a referendum on her, and by extension, on all women leaders. Every misstep is amplified as evidence that women, as a group, don't belong at the top. It's not a conspiracy, but a reflection of deep-seated bias. Unconscious assumptions shape the stories we tell and the way we tell them. Men's leadership is just leadership. Women's is female leadership, a special case. The qualifier itself signals that she's an exception, not the norm. Her successes are acknowledged, but her struggles are magnified and personalized. Data shows that negative coverage spikes when women are in charge, even when their performance matches or exceeds their male peers. The moment a woman takes the top job, the trap is set. She's under a microscope, her every move scrutinized for signs of weakness or error. The headline is the first clue. When things go wrong, it's not just about a CEO's mistake, but about a woman being a mistake for the role. The implication is clear. Her gender is the risk factor. This framing shapes how we see women in power before we even read the story. It primes readers to doubt, to question, to expect failure. It's time to question why we let a headline decide who belongs in the corner office. The real mistake isn't women in leadership. It's the way we write their stories. Language matters. The words we choose don't just describe reality, they shape it. When a male CEO takes a risk and fails, he's called ambitious or visionary, a hero who dared. In fact, studies show that over 60% of business headlines frame male leaders' failures as bold attempts, not personal shortcomings. Even in failure, he's admired for his courage. Headlines highlight his vision, not his mistakes. But a woman making the same move? She's reckless, impulsive, or too aggressive. A 2022 analysis found that female CEOs are twice as likely to be described with negative personality traits when companies underperform. The focus shifts from business strategy to her character. Instead of analyzing the market, the conversation becomes about her temperament, her likability, or even her appearance. Where he's daring, she's careless. Where he's strategic, she's accused of overreaching. Where he's visionary, she's accused of poor judgment. Experts say this double standard is so ingrained, it often goes unnoticed, even by those writing the headlines. The same traits praised in men are twisted into flaws for women. The message is clear. Success is expected, but mistakes are magnified. Leadership style gets the same treatment. A tough man is decisive. A tough woman is bossy or unlikable. These subtle cues reinforce stereotypes, making it harder for women to be seen as effective leaders. If she's collaborative, she's too soft. If she seeks consensus, she's indecisive. If she's assertive, she's harsh. The same action, different judgment. The media creates a tightrope. Any move can be used against her. One misstep, and the blame is swift and personal. Words don't just report the news, they shape who we see as fit to lead. The cycle repeats, subtly discouraging women from even seeking top roles. This double standard is a linguistic minefield for women in power. It's one reason why women make up less than 10% of Fortune 500 CEOs. The language of headlines and articles quietly reinforces who belongs at the top and who doesn't. It's not just about reporting, it's about reinforcing bias. The impact is real, affecting perceptions, opportunities, and careers. Until we change the words, we won't change the story, or who gets to lead. When a male-led company falters, the story is about market forces or tough competition. He's seen as navigating a storm, not causing it. His failures are bad luck, not bad leadership. But for a female CEO, the focus shifts. Her missteps, her strategy, her leadership become the story. The company's problems are pinned on her, not the market. Take the case of Ellen Pao, who became the CEO of Reddit. When the company faced backlash over policy changes, headlines zeroed in on her decisions and leadership style, not the broader challenges Reddit was facing. Pao later said, "I was held to a different standard. Every move I made was scrutinized in a way my male predecessors never experienced." Or consider Marissa Mayer at Yahoo. When Yahoo struggled, the media dissected Mayer's every choice, from her work hours to her wardrobe, while her male counterparts at other struggling tech firms were described as innovative risk-takers facing tough markets. Expert commentary backs this up. Dr. Sarah Kaplan, a professor of gender and the economy, explains, "When women lead, their failures are seen as personal flaws. For men, it's about the environment or the economy. A failed product launch? For a man, it's about industry trends. For a woman, it's about her competence." The analysis becomes personal. Did she listen? Was she out of her depth? Social media amplifies this double standard. When a female CEO stumbles, online commentary often questions her qualifications, while male CEOs are given the benefit of the doubt. Her failure is a reflection of her character, not just a business event. Male leaders get the benefit of context, women get a final verdict. For men, failure is a learning experience. For women, it's proof they don't belong. As one female executive shared, "After a setback, I was told maybe I wasn't cut out for leadership. My male colleague in the same situation was told, 'You'll get it next time.'" This double standard makes the path for women far more treacherous. Every decision is a test of her right to lead. The scrutiny is relentless and personal. It's not just about business. It's about her very presence in the room. Until we judge performance, not gender, this will never change. Pictures tell a story too, and research shows they're powerful storytellers. Male CEOs are shown in command, behind desks, leading meetings, exuding confidence. Studies find that men in leadership are most often photographed in active central roles. The image says, "He belongs." Visual framing like this signals authority and normalcy. Female CEOs, often pictured on the edge of a desk, alone in a hallway, or isolated in a crowd of men. A 2021 analysis found women leaders are twice as likely to be shown alone or physically separated from their teams. The visual message: she's an outsider. Researchers call this symbolic marginalization. Camera angles matter. Men are shot from below, looking powerful. Women from above, looking small. One study found 70% of images of female leaders use high angles, subtly diminishing their presence. Sometimes the focus is on her emotion, not her authority. Media often highlights women's feelings over their expertise. These choices aren't neutral. They reinforce who we see as a real leader. Studies show viewers unconsciously associate leadership with the visual cues given to men. For centuries, leadership has looked male in our mental library. The repetition cements bias. Instead of creating new images of female power, media falls back on old tropes. Even when women are featured, they're often shown in ways that undermine their authority. The result: women are framed as exceptions, not the norm. This exception framing makes female leadership seem rare and unnatural. Visuals shape our unconscious biases as much as words. Studies confirm that repeated exposure to these images affects who we trust as leaders. It's time to change the picture of leadership by choosing images that reflect true diversity and belonging. The tabloid treatment of female leaders is nothing new. Decades ago, headlines about the first women in boardrooms focused on their firsts, not their strategies. Today, when tabloids cover female CEOs, the focus still shifts from business to the personal. Her clothes, hair, and weight become news, scrutinized in ways male CEOs never experience. In the 1980s, tabloids obsessed over the power suit and whether a woman's heels were too high for the boardroom. A man can wear the same suit for years. A woman's outfit is headline material. Media analysis shows that articles about female leaders mention appearance nearly 3 times more often than those about men. The media obsesses over her family life. Is she married? Who's watching her kids? In the 1970s, women like Katharine Graham faced headlines doubting their ability to balance work and home. For men, family is a sign of stability. A male CEO is praised for being a family man, his children a prop for reliability. For women, it's a supposed distraction. Tabloids run stories questioning her priorities, as if ambition and motherhood are mutually exclusive. Her likability is judged, warm or cold, friendly or aloof. Media analysis reveals that female leaders are twice as likely to be described in terms of personality than their male counterparts. Anonymous quotes paint her as difficult, turning leadership into a popularity contest. In the 1990s, one high-profile CEO was called the Ice Queen by unnamed sources. Her results ignored. Male bosses are respected for toughness. Women are labeled harsh or worse. This double standard has persisted for generations, from boardrooms to political offices. This coverage reduces accomplished women to stereotypes. Whether it's the dragon lady or the mom in charge, the media recycles the same tired tropes. It distracts from their real impact on business. Headlines about profits and innovation are buried beneath stories about shoes and smiles. The message, no matter how high she climbs, she's still judged by outdated standards. From the first female executives to today's leaders, the narrative hasn't changed enough. It's time to rewrite the story. We need to focus on what matters. Her leadership, not her looks. The first female CEO is celebrated as a trailblazer, but the pressure is immense. History is filled with stories like Katharine Graham, who led the Washington Post through turbulent times, or Indra Nooyi, who transformed PepsiCo. Each was hailed as a symbol of progress, but also faced scrutiny no man would. She becomes a symbol for all women, her performance a test case for her entire gender. As leadership expert Dr. Rosabeth Moss-Cantor notes, when women are rare in top positions, their actions are seen as representative, not individual. No man's failure is used to judge all men, but hers is. When a male CEO stumbles, it's seen as a personal misstep, rarely a reflection on all men in business. If she stumbles, it's seen as proof that women can't lead. Dr. Alice Eagley, a leading researcher on gender and leadership, explains, women leaders are judged more harshly for mistakes, reinforcing stereotypes that question their competence. The media amplifies this, turning her story into a cautionary tale. Headlines about female CEOs often focus on gender, while men's stories focus on business. Her every move is watched, every mistake magnified. Social media and news outlets dissect her decisions, often with a gendered lens. Men who fail get second chances. Women's failures close doors for others. Studies show that women are less likely to be rehired after a high-profile failure. The standard is impossible. She must be flawless, fix old problems, and represent half the population. Experts call this the glass cliff, where women are often promoted to risky roles with slim chances of success. We should celebrate pioneers, but let them be individuals. As Mary Barra says, I want to be known for my work, not just my gender. Judge them on their merits, not as stand-ins for millions. True progress means evaluating leaders by their actions, not their identity. The right to succeed or fail should belong to everyone. Only then can workplaces truly be equal. Until then, the burden remains unfair. The emotional and professional weight carried by female leaders is a challenge no man has to bear. Let's change the narrative for the next generation. By sharing stories, listening to experts, and demanding fairness, we can ensure that tomorrow's leaders, regardless of gender, are judged by their vision, not their burden. These patterns don't just hurt individual women, They send shockwaves through business, media, and society at large. Every biased headline shapes perceptions, not just for today, but for the next generation of leaders. Biased headlines erode investor confidence, sway boardroom decisions, and make it harder for women to lead effectively. The impact is real. Companies with diverse leadership often outperform, yet stereotypes persist. Negative coverage can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, amplifying doubts and undermining confidence, both inside and outside the company. Young women see this and wonder if leadership is worth the scrutiny, or if their ambitions will be met with unfair criticism. It discourages ambition, not because of a lack of ability, but because of relentless double standards and the fear of being judged more harshly. The talent pool shrinks for everyone, limiting innovation and progress across industries. Biased coverage reinforces stereotypes, influences hiring and promotion decisions, and perpetuates a cycle of exclusion. If the narrative is that women are risky leaders, fewer get the chance to prove otherwise, and organizations miss out on proven talent. Fairness means judging performance, not gender. The data is clear. When women lead, businesses thrive. The media must report equitably, focusing on business outcomes, not personal flaws or outdated stereotypes. Use language and images that are fair, accurate, and empowering, because representation shapes reality. Until we change the story, we hold everyone back. But if we shift the narrative, we unlock potential for all. Next time you see a headline about a struggling female CEO, ask, would it be written this way if she were a man? And imagine the future we can build if the answer is no.